Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Miami Heat take Game 6 to win the series, 99-90. Um, the Philadelphia 76ers go home. I think they've played a good season. I think they have nothing to hang their hat about, their head rather. Obviously, they've had a long season where Joel Embiid carried them. It's unfortunate that for him that he wasn't able to get the MVP trophy at the end, but all in all, this was a heck of a season. We'll remember it as such. He fought hard through injury, and ultimately carried this team throughout and deserved a lot better ultimately than he received. But it was a heck of a prime year for a great center. So I just wanted to throw that out there first. All right, so this game, basically, the Miami Heat, it's one of those situations where the Philadelphia 76ers were already going up against a lot, and then Danny Green went down with a very nasty leg injury. I think that was in the first quarter. I actually did not see it myself, but I was aware that it happened. And, from there, it's just like, how much more can this team take? They had already been up against so much with the injuries to Joel Embiid and the various things that have happened throughout the season that have affected their roster. And so at the end of the day, you just understand that, okay, you made it to the second round, got 6 games out of that round. That's a good season for most teams. Like, it's not like you're sitting here looking around saying, okay, what went wrong? Who did? Like, you really don't have to do that at all. You can clap your hands and say, good season. Let's get ourselves retooled to be better for next year. So I think that Philadelphia obviously has some concerns because they have James Harden to consider and what his pay situation is going to be. Whether or not they can get him signed, if they want to pay him at that price, that's a big, huge decision for their franchise. Obviously, they have other things to consider. Tyrese Maxey is going to be up for pay at some point, and he's going to need top dollar. Tobias Harris' contract is pretty lengthy. And, of course, you want to make sure that Joel Embiid is getting that surgery that he needs, and you got to know how long he's going to be missing next season, to prepare yourself for what it is that you're going to be dealing with. So, Philadelphia has a lot of stuff to consider, and I am unsure what they're going to look like next year. Unsure. That's what I will say. I have no idea. So, as far as this game was concerned, another thing that you want to say about the Philadelphia 76ers is, they need to retool their bench. They did get something out of Shake Milton tonight. He had a very good game, ended his season well. But the rest of their bench literally did nothing. Like, they have a whole bench full of guys that gave them nothing in a game where they were playing for their lives. So it's so important, so very important that they really retool. They're not going to bring back some of those guys, I'd imagine. So let's see. In regards to the Miami Heat, well, what they were doing to the Philadelphia 76ers was essentially getting offensive rebounds. They controlled the glass, and then they just continued to eat inside. They were in the paint, 62 points in the paint. Double-digit offensive rebounds, 40-plus rebounds in total. And when you out rebound another team by double-digit points, and then they don't give themselves anything on their bench in terms of scoring, you can just take advantage. Obviously, Joel Embiid was dealing with a lot, and as we've talked about, they go as he goes defensively. And it was very obvious that he wasn't able to keep Jimmy Butler out of the paint. They got a very efficient night from P.J. Tucker tonight. Max Strus started off the game really hot, hit the glass real hard. And just about everybody on the team, all of their starters had a lot of rebounds tonight. So that's what you really noticed. The guys that they gave minutes to put an emphasis on rebounding, and it helped them. I think they didn't shoot that well from behind the arc. I think they were in the 25% range, but ultimately continuing to eat in the paint like they did, it really did the job for them. I definitely look at what Jimmy Butler was doing out there and just understand that he was taking over 30 points tonight. And like I said, double-digit rebounds, just continuing to make his presence felt on both sides, and close this team out. He understood what the assignment was. Bam Adebayo was perfect from the field, 5 for 5 tonight. Had some big blocks, obviously rebounded it as well. That's what they needed. They needed that type of performance from him to win this matchup against Joel Embiid and ultimately take this series away. And that was the thing. Joel Embiid gave you 20 points. Um, you know, Tyrese Maxey was aggressive, gave you 20 points. But they didn't really get a whole lot out of everyone that they needed tonight. James Harden only attempted, I think, 9 shots tonight. They needed more from him. He definitely had some assists. Got those assists kind of early, as I suggested he do. But the part where you got to take over down the stretch, it just, what I think happened to them tonight was, I think, the same thing that kind of happened in Game 5 with the Dallas Mavericks. And that was Luka Doncic taking it upon himself to basically do everything. Jacking up all the shots in the world. They were going to live and die with his shots. And that's what happened with Philly tonight. Joel Embiid attempted far more shots than anybody else, but he wasn't the most efficient person. You had other guys who were able to hit shots at a higher percentage tonight. And you want to see more balance out there in a closeout game. But sometimes, when guys, the season's on the line and they're the superstar, they know it's all on them, they're going to try to just bowl their way to a win. But that's not what got them there. What got them there is team ball. What got you to victory was James Harden setting everybody up and everybody getting a chance to eat. And team defense being anchored by Joel in the paint, forcing Miami to take bad 3-point shots that they cannot hit. That's what helped them win. Not him jacking up 25, 26 shots with James Harden only attempted 9, and then ultimately not getting no more than 20 points out of anybody. You know what I'm saying? That hero me ball stuff, that's not the best way to go. In your mind, you're like, I gotta win, I gotta, but I ain't gonna win nothing. We are gonna win together, or we are gonna lose together. So that's how that is in this sport. And the team that played together was the Miami Heat. They brought their game on the road this time, and they were ultimately able to just attack this team in some areas where they were very weak. Interior defense and rebounding. So, good night, Philadelphia. That's really what it is. Miami's going on to the Eastern Conference Finals. We don't know who they're going to play as of yet. Of course, the Bucks and the Celtics are still going at it. That series is up 3-2 as of right now, going the Bucks' way. Headed back to a Game 6 in Milwaukee. So, is that right? Yeah. I think Boston had home court. I had to check that. I'm sure that is how that goes. So, we will see from the winner of that who will play against these Heat. And, if I'm looking at the Heat in regards to anything, I just say, you got to lick your wounds, get Kyle Lowry back out there, get him healthy, and make sure that you start, just retooling or whatever you need to do in terms of your game plan for both of these teams. Because one thing for certain, whoever you're going to be playing against plays defense. And if you don't hit your shots from behind the arc, you could find yourself in a situation where you're not going to the finals. So I think that's key for Miami. They have a lot of depth. Bam is there to hold them down, give them a lot of presence defensively, along with their other players that play defense. But they have some struggles scoring the ball. Really do. And against a good defensive team, you wonder how Miami's going to fare. So I'm very curious to see how things look when Kyle gets back, and how they look after a week or so of rest. So yeah, that's what I got, man. That is the gist of this one. 9-point game. Philly played well, in terms of trying their very best to keep it close and keep their fans involved. They didn't mail it in my opinion, but they just didn't have a whole lot going on their bench. And, just not everybody was on the same page, it seemed, at the end of the day with this Philly team. They hadn't spent a lot of time together. Obviously, they made the mid-season trade for James Harden and gave away a center, and didn't really replace him. So there's a lot of stuff working against this team. And you just understand that now they got to make a real decision with Harden. So if that decision is the wrong decision, it could set them back many years. So make your next move your best move, Philly. And congratulations to the Miami Heat headed to the Eastern Conference Finals. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching.